Human behavior unfolds as a sacred inner pilgrimage, one that begins at birth and continues quietly through every stage of life. Seen from this perspective, it becomes easier to understand why so much of human life is lived unconsciously, and why spiritual awakening is often partial, delayed, or fragile. Long before we know ourselves as a self, forces beyond our awareness are already shaping how we perceive, feel, and respond to the world. Each soul arrives with a unique imprint. Genetics form a subtle blueprint that influences temperament, sensitivities, and natural inclinations. These are not fixed destinies, but seeds of potential. For example, one child may be born with a highly sensitive nervous system, easily affected by tone, atmosphere, or emotional shifts, while another may arrive more resilient and outwardly confident. These early differences shape how life is received, what wounds form more icily, and what forms of growth may later call most strongly to the individual. In early childhood, consciousness is open, porous, and undefended. The child absorbs the world directly, without judgment or resistance. Learning happens through presence rather than intention through observation, imitation, emotional resonance, and atmosphere. For example, a child raised in an anxious household may unconsciously learn vigilance and self-suppression, while another raised in emotional warmth may absorb a basic trust in life. Personality begins to crystallize during this time, molded by caregivers, emotional climates, cultural patterns, and silent expectations. Much of this shaping occurs beneath awareness, quietly weaving itself into identity. The child does not choose who they become. It becomes. As life progresses, repeated thoughts, emotions, and behaviors carve familiar pathways in the mind and nervous system. These patterns settle into habits and automatic reactions, forming the structure of the ego. What once served as protection or belonging may later become limitation. For instance, a child who learned to please others to feel safe may grow into an adult who cannot say no, even when doing so causes harm or exhaustion. The pattern continues unseen, like a hidden script guiding behavior. At this stage, many begin to walk the earth spiritually asleep, functioning, but not with self-awareness. In adulthood, the subconscious mind carries much of daily life. Reactions arise before reflection, actions unfold without presence, and life is often lived on autopilot. Familiar routines offer stability, yet they can obscure awareness and distance us from the immediacy knowledge of self. A person may drive the same route to work every day, replay the same inner narratives, and engage with others from habit rather than presence, only later realizing that years have passed, with little memory of truly being there. In this state of inner sleep, behavior may become unmindful, reactive, or disconnected from compassion, sometimes straying from what is socially or spiritually harmonious. What is commonly called wisdom or knowledge is sometimes no more than accumulated conditioning. Beliefs, values, and worldviews are often inherited rather than discovered. When left unquestioned, they can obscure truth instead of revealing it. True wisdom emerges when awareness turns inward, gently loosens old identifications, and reconnects with direct perception and inner knowing. This unconscious rhythm also shapes the experience of time. In childhood, when each moment is fresh and alive, time feels expansive. In adulthood, especially within repetitive or unexamined lives, time seems to accelerate, as fewer moments are fully inhabited. Novelty awakens presence. Repetition keeps consciousness in sleep mode. Seen as a whole, human behavior moves from inherited potential, through unconscious shaping, into deeply ingrained patterns governed by the subconscious. Without spiritual awareness, life repeats itself mechanically. Spiritual awakening begins when this automatic flow is interrupted, when awareness recognizes its own conditioning and returns to the living truth of the present moment. In that return, one moves from merely functioning within life to consciously inhabiting it, awake, present, and inwardly alive.